After an extremely close election, Europe falls in the chaos. Hi guys, welcome to this alternate history of the world series. In this wild mapping video, we will look at what will happen. And yeah, now to the election that happened in Europe. Well, 55% voted for a more right-wing party, and then let's say the other 45% voted for a Democratic Socialist Party, with sharp opposition areas start being divided. Well, it was 45% were right-wing. Another 45 was left-wing, and 35 was 35. Wait, that's only 70. I think I did 45. Both got 45. So that's 90%. And the other 10% went to a far-right party. But the slightly right party, after hearing this, which got a lot of traction in like the southern part. Right here, and here had a big chunk of their populations here. England, Brittany was another spot to be hit hard, Portugal, and Spain as they rise up. And it was also voted for in like the former Belarus area. And well, democratic socialism was mostly in the north. Well, this is like, but it's quickly turned to regions starting to declare their independence, to declare their side as the areas that they did well in, which democratic socialism is the blue has a lot of them in. But quickly after, some areas, let's say this area of Italy, that area, this area, that area of Britain, and what it looks like here is more so like a big chunk of the Baltics. Well, it's not the far-right parties, which did actually gain in this election of the European Federation, which were extremely far-right. Well, a lot of them did end up falling the far right. That 10% was mostly voted in this area. And yeah, they're extremely far. With democratic socialists starting to have some victories in the British Isles. And in Italy. But the non-democratic far-right parties have major success in France. And yeah, this is divided. But some areas declare independence due to the violence. And yeah. There is a Finland. Now Finland has a party that wants independence. They're called Finlandism. The Finns rise up along with Estonians, which the Finns managed to take their own capital back. And yeah, from here it starts expanding in their favor. But they basically have a vote, and then they come to the agreement that they'll make their own independence, which is a few places declare independence. Oh yeah, I'm still in this recording. Oops, guys, that's a mistake. And that's the countries that declared independence, including Finland, Estonia, Luxembourg, Belgium, and Netherlands. With still happening to be blue team advances. With a few of the right-wing areas declaring right wing that did not want to continue as part of the Union does this. With the far right party making advances against the Democratic Socialists, which are left wing. But this area that's a bit cut off from the rest does not have as much success in the Belarusian front. But somebody helps. I say it like that because, well, how much of a help do you think they are? Not really any, because they're just in it for gaining land. It's the Russia, but this Russia is not a bad Russia anymore, so I guess that's good news. Kazakhstan is working on uniting, while Turkey is working on uniting the Turkic world. And they made some allies, and this is what Russia does. This is a democratic Russia, a really democratic Russia, not like the rest, which just kind of fade away. With the right wing being in trouble, but they have something. Well, it looks like Poland might fall to the far right, but this is where the Polish region decides to basically tackle this issue themselves by cutting them in two, and then cutting them in three. Because why wouldn't they? And they continue making some gains. In the Isles, London has. But this is at the consequence of the United Ireland did leave the Union. So, you know, the Union is falling apart, basically. But that's not one of the only spots we see violence erupting. With a full-scale war breaking out which started over in the Turkic world, with nations wanting to expand the Turkic kingdoms. Yeah. Why am I calling them kingdoms? Don't ask me. And why are they in weird colors? Don't ask me either of those questions. You can if you want, I suppose. And they enter into Kyrgyzstan from East Turkestan. They enter into Kyrgyzstan from the north. They start entering into Kyrgyzstan. This mostly started by Uzbekistan's quest. This is another water war because the Aral Sea chances are dead by now. Yeah. And well, this kind of happens. Yeah, probably it's supposed to be a much brighter color, actually. Much more vibrant color. One that everybody likes to see. And yeah, this war isn't going as fast as it should be, but there's a bit of resistance happening, let's say. It's causing a lot of chaos. The longer a war lasts, the bigger its impacts are. Demographics are not great in a lot of wars. And that happens. But let's look at something that will happen soon. That is going to happen. Well, the collapse of this front kind of happens. With Russia basically managing to take all of this. And this is where this ends up. As peace looks likely. With them moving some of these forces over to this front. It looks like the European Union has one thing with nationalism rising in the Nordics, with the rest of the Nordics declaring that Nordic socialism basically rises. Really? Do you really want me to make another 100? With the most affected areas being like here. And here. And yeah. The Danes do this. The Danes that like this idea. And yeah. And with Sweden and Norway, they managed to do this. Isn't it funny how Sweden and Denmark's games are pretty similar? Yeah, this happens. Well, they basically have free reign over the North. With Nordic socialism being a success and a treaty being signed. But eventually they Scotland manages to get itself free. The violence is quickly stopping, with the Eastern Front doing well because nothing's happening. The Northern Front is doing well. They just have one bad front with Hungary's border. And they're looking like this just happens, basically. With up in the UK, this happening. We don't need to focus our attention the full time up here. Yeah, I should have took a thumbnail earlier. Oh my god. Yeah, this is a perfect thing. Perfect. 1 sec. And now this is good. With an advance to Paris being made, which actually goes to success. Which it looks like this is going to be cut off, so basically a flee is made. With this being where the front line sits. But in the east, they also have a bit more problems with them stepping backwards, basically, to the advancing Italian nationalists. And then France continues its advance through Alsace-Lorraine, entering into the Rhineland. Yeah. But a surprise offensive is made. Well, not a surprise, but a big rise up is made here against right wing that are pro-left. Democratic Socialist. Yeah. I guess Democratic Socialists are the winners of the election. With the Italian forces being cut off. Badly prepared, the Italian right-wingers didn't really think of it. This is just because I wanted a civil war to break things up for this, with this happening. And now the French army is kind of in a bad spot as they get pushed back. They get routed. And yeah, nothing happens for the nationalists as they get kicked out of here. And here, they lost Paris, is what I meant by kicked out of there. And yeah, to add insult to injury, they managed to pull off an invasion of the English Channel, which basically does this. And what's going on in the Turkic area? They're still negotiating peace, and now they do this. Yeah. And, well, they do this. Yeah, kind of do this. Well, Britain failed there. But the French rebels continue fighting. They will not surrender. Yeah. And this area just collapses, with Europe signing peace. Fragmented and weaker. It's not very great. With this occupation by American forces ending in some areas. Then it ends here. So it ends everywhere basically now. With Eritrea starting to become strong, Sudan basically says no. You won't become strong. Basically. Why am I using the word basically? Because it's not completely. No. With them basically declaring war on Eritrea and Djibouti. But it gets helped by someone. Ethiopia. What's left of Ethiopia, at least. And yeah. Their invasion goes to plan. With the East African Federation, accurately. Doing this with them. This happens. With America surprised. Let's call it the world off guard. With this being drafted like this, the treaty. Yeah, Sudan claims they did most of the work. But, there's nothing they can do. They can't beat Sudan. Well, the world is probably going to unite again. With the economic situation worsening in the European Federation, with Lithuania and Latvia and Kaliningrad declaring independence. The East African Federation will collapse. The European Federation will collapse. The American one is still doing good. With this being those Turkic. With the world wanting to unite the Turkic people. With something happening in the Russian front. Major, actually. With an annexation war breaking out by the Russian Republic. It's actually a democracy. And do you see much of a democracy behaviors? Yeah. And they basically go into Grozny and are like, yeah. Because the advanced technology now, if you're advanced, you're going to do well. And the Turkic Federation turns a blind eye as this happens. While Russia's just working towards, and its demographics, let's say, aren't as bad as they are now. And that was a full annexation war with the European Federation. Kind of economy dying, basically. And yeah, what's left of Slovenia declares independence. The future is getting bleak for this federation. And basically falling apart. But on the plus side, there are still members willing to join the World Treaty Organization now. Mostly in the East. But basically, Russia offers a huge sum of money to annex that. And Belarus kind of votes to join them. What? So even in the future, hey, Russia's getting democratic and expanding. Yeah. Well, geographically, they're in a better spot. That's the Republic of China occupying all of China now. India kinda does something. Now they annex Tibet after a vote with Tibet. India basically aligns itself with Turkey. And they even, with the world just being in chaos and shambles now, World War V did not help the European Federation that much. With this being basically what's left as a rump state. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. That's it for today's alternate History of the World series. Now, we're 19 subscribers away from 100. We're at 81. We will be to 100 by December 25th, I hope. If you guys subscribe, because pretty much if you subscribe, we get there. If you don't, we don't. And yeah, we've had a good day yesterday. Over 200 views yesterday. Can we do it again, guys? I don't know. But you know what we should be able to do? Leave a comment and leave a like and subscribe if you're not. Because 85% of you aren't subscribed. And give me suggestions and I'll fix the world to what you suggest. Yeah. Well, the next special's at 100 and it'll be a Dictator's No Peace video where I conquer the full world. So you should subscribe if you aren't already. That's pretty much all. That's all for today's video, guys. But I have one more thing. Just subscribe and like. And why do we want to get to a special? Because specials are chill. And the more subscribers we get. Is my theory. And thank you for the support so far. Please continue to support it. If you're not already subscribed, you should. Subscribe. Sundays are our most popular day, though. Generally. Yeah. I can't control what will happen in the future, but I hope we get 100. Thank you for watching today's video. That's all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Wild Mapper out!